Oh, hello everyone. Good to see everybody. Oh, we're gonna mute Paige.
The hell was that?
Not doing that. He can unmute himself when he gets back. It's him running the microwave as usual. So. Anyway, how's everyone doing tonight? We're gonna go around and say hi to everyone. So we'll start with Omega. What's up, Omega? How are you doing this evening?
Just got finished playing D&D with a couple friends of ours. We just hit level 11. We killed an archdemon from the hells and rescued somebody. Long story short, I haven't really been doing much in the ways of artwork because I'm running to a freaking mental block, and it's like I'll load something, mess around with some things. Yeah, this sucks. Delete it. Delete it all. Close the program. Go play like either Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Balatro.
What about you, Darren? What are you up to? I know you just did a stream. You're muted, by the way. You just finished a long stream. I know that.
I do. Yeah, I did. I just streamed 3 hours. Oh, I did 3 hours on my thing, and then I did about 45 minutes on Lance's stream, like right before this. So this is my third stream in a row tonight.
Oh my god!
So that's fun. I guess.
Yeah, I admit I wanted to go on Lance's stream, but I was asleep.
Well, I'm actually eating Domino's pizza, so everybody enjoy through me. Tonight I came straight from work, which is why the stream is a little bit later than normal. I had to work late tonight, so. Paigey, what did you make in the microwave? What are you eating?
Oh, I made pasta last night, so it's leftover pasta bolognese.
Like what kind though? Like, is it like a noodle pasta? Is it a spaghetti? Is it like what kind?
I've never called noodles pasta, but no, just like penne pasta, like bolognese.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Did you make it yourself, or did you have it delivered?
No, fuck that. I made it. I'm not paying, like, if you bought it, it'd be like $30 and you can make it.
It is. I'll tell you right now,
enough.
one of the biggest scams is having pasta delivered.
It's so cheap to make.
So expensive. It's so expensive.
I made 5 servings. It cost me $7.
That reminds me, I made a grass mistake when I went to Kroger. Oh well.
You like the new glasses? Thank you, yours truly.
The only things that are worth ordering are pizza, because it's a fucking effort. And then like something like barbecue. Like ribs or something like that.
Yeah, because you have to like do so much to make those. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, steak almost. That's a whole day. That's like a whole like 8 hours almost if you're doing it right.
Yeah, no, it's not cheap to buy the good meat, and you have to like do it for like 6 hours if you do something like that. Ridiculous.
Never had good pasta delivered, but made great pasta many times. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times when you make it at home, it tastes better because you're making it fresh. So
yeah, I make my own scampi sauce. It's not hard.
Yeah, what's up, South Texas Shark? Good to see you. We did have a super chat from Cal, 99-cent super chat. We're only doing 5 tonight, and then whatever you guys pick in the poll, we're good to go. Because I don't think this is going to be a longer stream. Normally, you do like 3 hours. I don't think we're going to reach 3 hours tonight, or even 2.5 hours. We will see where the winds take us, but it's just 5 super chats tonight at any level, and we are already at 1, which means 4 super chats. Harrison says 2-minute noodles with bolognese is goated struggle meal, as shameful as it sounds. So, are you saying that Paige is having a struggle meal? Is that what we're saying?
No, 2-minute noodles is like ramen.
Oh yeah. Have you ever had that? Has anybody ever had that?
That sounds foul. I'm not gonna lie.
I would try it.
Well, I've never had it, so I can't really judge it too much. But the actual description of it, hopefully that you mean like the 2-minute noodles without any flavoring, or if you do, it's like the beef flavoring.
Hey, look, there ain't nothing wrong with struggle meals. Hey, some of those struggle meals still be good.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of those microwavable noodles. You just kind of throw in for like 4 to 5 minutes, and they run.
Oh right.
They're not bad.
I don't even know if this is a struggle meal, but the one I had was it's I think they call it like bogan nachos, but I think I've said it before. It's just like plain. You can get any Doritos you want. You can get the plain ones, nacho cheese, but then you put baked beans and cheese on top.
I don't know about the baked beans.
Yeah, it tastes awesome.
Well, baked beans is kind of like a European thing. Like
beans on toast.
Beans on everything, because we don't really do that here. I mean, people.
But your baked beans are weird. Yours are like barbecue baked beans.
Right. It's different because the thing is, I had people that went to the UK and they're like, "Oh, beans on toast," and I'm thinking like American like beans.
Yeah,
Right.
baked
Those would be
beans. Yeah,
really
so
good.
I'm thinking too. Like, ugh, that doesn't. I mean, yeah, I guess.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into it. We have a few small stories, and then we're gonna watch that trailer, the Fantastic Four trailer. Right, everybody's waiting for us to watch that, but let's give people a chance to get in to the stream. But with that being said, here we go. All right, let's shift some people around here. I'm gonna move these guys up.
That video was so fucking loud compared to the rest of the stream.
Really?
Yeah. I had to turn
I don't
down
know
my
why.
volume.
It's whatever the volume is. That it always is what it is. I haven't changed the video at all. Excuse me. The drink gave me the hiccups. All right, so this is interesting. As someone who watched Buffy religiously, I have every single season on DVD, which nobody has DVDs anymore, but I have it on DVD. This and Angel, I was a huge Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. TV show, not the movie. But a sequel series to Buffy the Vampire Slayer is nearing pilot order at Hulu, which is owned by Disney. Sources say that Sarah Michelle Gellar is in final talks to once again play the iconic title character in the Untitled Project, although it would focus on a new Slayer, and Gellar would appear in a recurring role rather than leading the series.
Okay.
So it's basically her teaching the new generation of Slayers and things like that. Although I read the article, there seems to be no mention of Whedon being involved with this, which is it's his baby. Like the whole Buffy the series was kind of his baby. Did you read up on? Did you see anything, Darren, about who's going to be doing this, or is it just no mention of Joss anywhere?
No, I didn't see it, but I know he's not a part of it. So take that as you will.
I think Paigey, do you still believe that he is doing like ghostwriting for stuff? Do you think he's still like doing things and getting a paycheck behind the scenes?
Probably. That before. But with this, he'd get paid for this, wouldn't he? Because he created it. It's his from his brain. So. He did the movie. So like Fox would know, well, now Disney, I guess, own the rights to it, but he'd get paid for this, surely, and he'd get a large amount. I'd assume so.
I'll be honest. I feel like this should have happened a while ago, honestly, because the Buffy IP to me is cultural. It's a thing where for a good decade, Buffy and Angel pretty much dominated young adult television.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, I think there was a time where this and Charmed were kind of like the two shows that people watched. You watched the show about witches and the show about vampires, and that was kind of the thing that people did. So I'm actually surprised that it's taken this long for them to get another Buffy thing going. Like, I'm surprised they haven't done a cartoon or something. Yeah. I know there's been comic books about it, and that's I think Cody here brings that up. Remember, for 61 months, my thing is the comics involvement. So I'm assuming you're talking about this, or are you talking about Fantastic Four?
No, I think Joss Whedon was involved in the comics.
Yeah. I'm on board for this. I loved this show. It was campy. It was silly. It was stupid, but it was also kind of a unique thing. I mean, I would say that Buffy was the foundation for a lot of that transitional TV superhero stuff, because it really was sort of the precursor to all of that. I mean, you saw some of the elements of Buffy and stuff like Smallville, which I think is quite interesting. Is anybody else here familiar with this? Like the whole show? I watched the whole thing, so I know it pretty much backwards and forwards.
I've seen a lot of it. It's been so long since I've seen it, and so I really don't remember much. But I never really watched Angel, though. I did watch a good bit of Buffy.
Yeah.
So, I'm kind of looking forward to it. Just kind of wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I've not seen Buffy. It's just a little tiny bit before my time.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
I mean, I've always had an interest in watching this show because I love shows like around this era, very like CW kind of feeling kind of show. I know it's not CW, but like that kind of young adult.
I would argue that this is what kind of created this, and Charmed kind of created that type of television. So
yeah, so like I've seen the first episode. I think I've always wanted to get into it, and I think this is probably going to be the proper like motivation to be like, okay, it's coming back finally, like a reason for it to get bumped up on my watch list. I am curious though, because I know obviously it has a massive audience from people who watched it when it's young. I'm curious to see what the market is going to be now, though. Like, is the interest still going to be? Are you going to have that nostalgic interest? How are you going to bring in a new audience? Because it does seem like it's going to lean more into the legacy sequel aspect of it. Obviously, it's going to be here training some new people, so obviously it's that element. But like I just wonder, do people care enough about this IP still to make it successful? Also, with that, Hulu makes me a little concerned. Hulu isn't known for having these like long running shows. Like I feel like they oftentimes, oh, hey, we're bringing back the show, and it lasts like a season.
It makes me wonder if it's going to be like on Disney Plus as well, because now Hulu and Disney Plus are the same thing. So even though it's a Hulu show, it might see more viewership on Disney Plus, if I had to guess. But you're absolutely right. I mean, one of the things is if when I look at this, and I think about like a new generation of people coming into the show, it makes me think of Cobra Kai, because Cobra Kai would have been my demographics show, but it also had like a younger generation in it. If this show can capture that same magic as Cobra Kai, I actually think it might do well, but it has to be very along those lines. You know what I mean? I believe
it has to hook on. It has to hook a new generation. If it's only for the old fans, it will fail. I think it will get canceled in a couple years.
Well, that's the thing I was wondering, is that it's not going to be called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's going to be called something else, because they're saying sequel series. They're not saying reboot.
Charlie the Vampire Slayer or something.
Well, they might call it just Vampire Slayers. If I remember, they might do a group or something.
Maybe I
something to try and keep that thing there. But I think it plays into, because I saw a lot of concern around this thing here. I think it just plays down to like the creativity aspect. Like having someone like Chloe Zhao, like she's an Oscar winner, and she's doing
the Eternals. I mean.
Well, this and it's no offense to the show as a whole, but you wouldn't expect someone that's won an Oscar, only over the past handful of years, to then jump into this and be like at the creative point of it. Obviously, I think she said it's like she's a massive fan of it and grew up on it and stuff like that. But I think I was having a think about it the other day as well, because I was like, various shows and stuff, but they struggle. Like, I think every show. And not really a movie, because movies come in their time frame is like 2 weeks in the theater, maybe a month. Like if you're thinking about a movie after a month and it's in the conversation, it has to be like an Endgame or some crap like that. It has to be a big movie. Like a lot of times it's in one ear out the other. I think a lot of shows are trying to like enter the zeitgeist, if you know what I mean. Like just constantly be up, and like that's what Buffy was and still is.
Yes. Yeah.
And not many shows, it's hard to do that. Like sometimes you're in the zeitgeist just while you're on, and then sometimes you're something like this where you're expanding like 20 years after the show was done and dusted.
I mean, to me, it's very clear that Joss would not even be as well known as he was if it wasn't for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Right.
I mean, I feel like this is what really like cemented his landscape.
But I think it's just interesting that like like shows are trying to do it, and it's hard, and I think it's harder now as well because it's the commitment thing. Like this show could be cancelled after its first season.
Yeah.
But like I think it's now such a bigger landmine field, or a bigger minefield than it was in the network TV days. And that was one of the biggest criticisms that network TV, they just cancel the show. It's like, fuck, have you seen the streamers? Or like the show comes and then there's not another season for 3 years or something like that, and then you go and you can't stay in that. It can't stay in that conversation. And like I don't think anyone expects this show to compete with Buffy the Vampire Slayer's popularity. No, not at all. But it's trying to take that popularity and try and at least, if it can get half the popularity of that show, they'd be stoked.
They're good,
especially on a worldwide thing where it's all coming out.
It makes me feel like if the CW were still making TV, this would be perfect for the CW.
Absolutely,
like a 23 episode show on the CW with this kind of stuff, because the cost of Buffy was so low, and they had to like cut corners like all these shows do.
But Buffy was the one where they'd have those arcs in the season and then filler episodes where what's this show not going to have any of that?
No,
right. It's probably going to be, like I said, I read the article. It's not going to be a 23 episode show.
It'd be like 13 max. I'd assume 13 max, and someone would assume it might.
That's the other issue with these shorter seasons, is you can't do that. You can't tell those kinds of stories in a 10 to 13 episode season. There can only really be one major story. It's hard to break it up over multiple episodes.
And
So
and also, like, again, I haven't seen it, but I would assume, again, like you said, the like charm of it is that you're sitting there every week with your family and friends, watching it weekly, having this just kind of like commitment thing every week. This is a Hulu show. They're dropping it all at once, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a one-off
Yeah.
drop, maybe every couple years. Will people care? Like, I don't know. Like, again, I feel like the like fun of that is like, well, you watch it every week. It's part of your like routine of watching a show like this. Well,
if they're going to follow the Disney Plus method, they might do a week-to-week release, maybe, like Disney Plus does if they decide to do that.
Yeah, but like I feel like Hulu originals normally don't. Like
Yeah.
Bear now drops all at once and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's also a lot of shows, just like really quickly. Like I think a lot of shows from this era are now coming back. Like we're seeing this now. One Tree Hill was recently announced to be coming
Charmed
back.
came back a few years ago. That came back like about 3 or 4 years ago. So
yeah, and I mean they're trying to get Smallville back. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But like like I feel like this era. I mean, even Dexter, right? It's not quite the same era, but it's because they're around that same.
Gossip
kind of
Girl,
time
that's a
frame.
good one. Yeah, Gossip Girl's another one.
So
what was the other one? Pretty Little Liars. Even though that was not the same generation, it was a bit after, but
still it's.
All right, we got some super chats here from Crazy Cat Lady with a $2 super chat. It's my birthday. Well, happy birthday, Crazy Cat Lady.
Hey,
you have a great birthday.
Mine will be 2 weeks from now, actually.
Oh, okay. Right around the corner.
Yeah,
Naruto here with the $5 super chat and a team member. Everything on Hulu already appears on Disney Plus. Yeah, that's why I was making that comment. I was wondering how that was going to affect the viewership because, I mean, I don't even know. Look, I'll be honest. I don't even know if Hulu matters. What deals does Hulu have that can't just be rolled into Disney Plus? I feel like it's all part of the same.
I think isn't it just so they can show? I think it's just so they like because you don't have the Star thing. Like in Australia, all the Hulu stuff's on Disney Plus. Here,
but
they call it. It's in a segment. It's in like a section called Star.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Which I think was Hulu in like other countries before Disney Plus, but we never had it here. But it's like there's some stuff there that you wouldn't expect it to be on Disney Plus, like that Pam and Tommy show where there's a talking penis, for example. Like I don't know if anyone wants to jump from Mickey and Friends over to.
You didn't see that, Omega?
No.
Okay, Google Pam and Tommy.
But we're not looking at it here, so
don't. Well, not you. Pam and Tommy like talking penis. What does he get? He's like takes drugs or something, and his penis starts.
Yeah. He gets high. Yeah. That's what it is. We have one more super chat, and then we're going to do another small story. Then we're going to do Fantastic Four. Big Bang Theory, Sheldon with a $5 super chat. I know. Don't even describe it on here. I make it a point to super chat at 12 on the dot, no matter what. Off topic though, Eric. But I've been replaying God of War Ragnarok. Are you into GTA at all? Grand Theft Auto. I played 5 a long time ago.
I played 5 a bit, but I was never heavily into GTA. It's a good game though.
You know what I enjoy the GTA is the people that make the mods, the really interesting mods.
Yeah. I'm just mad that they don't make any GTA DLC anymore. Like Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4 was amazing. But I guess because GTA 5 online just makes them so much money, they just make stuff mad.
Well, I mean, we'll see what's going to happen with GTA 6 when that finally comes out, what they end up doing with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to 6, though, when it eventually comes out on PC 2 years from now. Well, 2 years later.
So I guess we'll have something to talk about on Thursday because it seems like the first Jurassic World Rebirth trailer drops like in the morning.
Yep.
At 11 a.m. What is up with all of these Super Bowl trailers coming out before the Super Bowl? Is that normal?
I think it's to avoid the avalanche.
Oh, you mean of like everything sort of coming out at the same time?
Or coming out at once. Because especially like this is probably the biggest what they've got. Yeah. And look, here's the thing. We could be seeing the most smart piece of marketing in years. Because guess what movie is not shoving its trailer out early and is waiting until
Superman.
Super Bowl?
Superman
Sunday. Smurfs. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I kind of figured maybe is that they're getting the people who don't watch the Super Bowl, like me. I don't give a damn.
I don't think that matters, honestly. In the past, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, then again, there's like very few people who really don't watch. I mean,
there's a lot of people that watch the Super Bowl just for the halftime.
Just for the ads, yeah. I used to be like that until I just didn't care anymore.
Who's this year's halftime show? Did they say who it is?
Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
Oh, he won. He won a bunch of Grammys. I don't know if you saw that or not. So, which I'm sure Drake was upset about that.
Screw Drake. I don't care about that fucking ghetto.
Also, we're not going to show it here, but at Paige, we were. I guess we didn't really talk about it, but we shared the picture of DMs or whatever. Did you guys see Kanye and his wife? Yeah, I was like,
his wife. He's a
dress, but it had you could see everything. She may as well be wearing nothing.
His wife is Australian, and she was a lawyer, I think it was, or like a lawyer or an architect or something. And then all of a sudden, she gets married to Kanye, and she's walking down a red carpet.
I have a theory. Well, it's not really my theories. I think someone on Twitter actually is either Twitter or one of the other social media.
That's always the best theories, are the Twitter theories. So go ahead.
They actually put this idea in my head. I was like, I know it, and I agree. She has a humiliation kink. This whole thing is a humiliation kink. I believe it.
Well, maybe, except she's very attractive, so I don't know what I'm not sure.
Man, you would probably know more about this than I would. When it comes to kink community, man, they got some weird stuff going on.
No, I get that, but I mean, like, she's not going out wearing like a mask that says "I'm ugly" or something like that. Like she's a very attractive person.
Slut and all that
yeah.
It's not like that, but still, like she's walking around or like an exhibitionist kink. It's like this is some sort of weird kink, man.
Well, it's like that video you sent me, Eric, the other week, where the person was walking around in public with something gooey on their face.
What? What video are you talking about?
You sent me a tweet. No, it wasn't you walking down the street, but it was like...
No, but I don't even remember what that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you sent it. I'm obviously not going to show it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
We're not going to go too much into it.
Yeah. Beyonce won her first Album of the Year award after 25 years. I know, that's crazy. That was crazy. I'm like, as big as Beyonce is in terms of like the music industry, the fact that she hadn't won an award. But look, this is why I don't put a lot of... I don't put a lot into like award shows. I don't feel like they matter to the artist because it helps the artist in the industry. But for me as a person that likes music, I don't really care about the award show, to be honest.
But it's well known. Like the Grammys are a load of arse. Like they're paid for, and it's to promote. Like guess who starts a tour literally like in a month? Beyonce.
Yeah,
like it's that.
Well, the other thing is,
and Kendrick Lamar is literally about to do the Super Bowl. It's all promotion.
Yeah. So I had a comment about Jaden and Willow. Okay, so let me put this out there. I think Willow is extremely fashionable. Like when I see her, she always looks really cool.
Well, isn't your theme song "I whip my hair back and forth"?
It could be.
I mean, I agree. It was a bit much. She was showing a little too much, but it's like, actually, it doesn't look bad.
Right, but I'm saying like she thought about her look in a way that comes across authentic. Jaden, and I even posted this on Twitter, I've said it to several people. No offense to Jaden, but he feels like the kind of person that emulates what he thinks artists do, but he's not an actual artist himself. So he's like, wouldn't it be cool if I wear a regular tuxedo and then stick a foam house on my head?
Somebody actually put I saw on Twitter, I spent too much time on Twitter. Someone actually posted something like Willem Dafoe actually had like a house for like a head, which he did for like some award show. I think it was the Oscars or something. And I think that was a reference to that. I mean, maybe, but what the problem is with Jaden is I don't ever see Jaden do anything that feels like it comes from Jaden. It always feels derivative of something else. He's trying to not necessarily copy. It's like, someone else did this.
And there's nothing wrong with copying like really good artists. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'd like to understand who Jaden is as an individual person. And I
at
never
least put
get
your
that
own
from
spin
him.
on it or something.
He hasn't like defined himself as his own celebrity yet.
I mean, then again, he's still a kid, man. So
is he?
He's almost 30. He's almost in his 30s. Yeah, he's like.
To me, he's still a kid.
He's a child at heart.
10 years ago.
No, I think he's like in his 20s, man. He's got to be like in his early 20s.
He's 27 years old.
Oh, the late 20s. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's never gonna find himself. Then he's just basically like.
I mean, well,
you know.
look, hell, I'm 43. I'll be 43 in a couple weeks. I still haven't found myself. I mean,
Oh,
some people just don't figure it out.
And yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm not trying to like shame him or anything, but like, I imagine because like, I never hear him like on the news unless it's like some weird thing that he's now done.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like he's trying to like stand out and be like, "Hey guys, look at me! I'm not just my dad. I'm my own."
Well, what was the thing he was doing like a couple of years ago? Because he was doing like the boxed water thing. Because he was in Australia, like he was made the news here because he went to like a random shop.
It's a lot of stuff. I don't know. He jumps around. That's what I mean. Like, think about Jaden. What is definitive? Like, if you think about Will Smith or Jada or even Willow, there are things you can like go, that's them. Like, that's their thing.
Right.
Jaden's biggest thing was the Karate Kid remake.
Yeah. And it's people's
Which I heard that was actually
Karate
right.
Kid.
It's not bad, but he's not doing
No.
karate. He's doing kung fu. It's not even karate, so it doesn't make any sense. But it's whatever.
Yeah, they should have called that the Kung Fu Kid instead. But whatever.
Naruto here with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Naruto. Next week is going to be even more packed than this week. 3 episodes of Spider. Oh, that's right. That is 3 episodes next week. 1 episode of Invincible and 5 episodes of Cobra Kai on the same day.
Invincible.
Oh my god! And all the trailers that are coming out, obviously. So we're gonna have a busy week. Thank you so much. We have Cody here with a $10 super chat. This goes to Darren, I guess. I know Darren probably hasn't seen it, but iCarly had one of the most successful revivals I've ever seen. Had 3 seasons, only got canceled because of the strikes, and is getting a movie now.
Why me? I'm the one. That's like my generation kind of show.
Are you familiar with iCarly though? Did you watch?
I mean, I know of it. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge show when I grew up. Like, it was like one of the biggest things I watched.
Look, Omega's raising his hand. He must have watched it.
I got a confession to make. I watched a lot of iCarly.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's like at the time, I was like, I got home from work. I had my computer I had my laptop just kind of just on my lap, like just on my lap. So
isn't that bad for your like balls?
I was gonna say, yeah, I think it is.
It probably is. No, I had like my computer like right on my chest, so I was just playing, just looking up stuff. And I'll watch SpongeBob. And when SpongeBob went off, iCarly came on after that. So I was like, you know what? I don't feel like getting this thing off my chest. I'm just gonna watch iCarly.
That's too funny.
I was like, holy shit, this show is actually pretty dang good.
And with that being said, we've reached the goal already. You guys were really awesome tonight. We've already reached the goal. So thank you so much. With that being said, you have some options in the poll. So go ahead and vote on that. We will reveal the winning choice at the end of the stream. So thank you guys so much. And of course, any other super chats are greatly appreciated, but thank you for helping me hit the goal. All right, so let's talk about. Did anybody stay awake to watch this morning? This trailer, the whole like leading up to it and everything.
I woke up as soon as it was supposed to drop. I saw and like I didn't do it on purpose. Like I woke up and I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I go on all my social and people are freaking out, being like, "What do you mean 1 more hour? It was supposed to be now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm going back to bed."
I was already up, and I just saw people on Twitter talking about it. I was like, "What's going on here?" It's like, "Oh, okay."
I had friends. I had friends that like went into work late for they can like react to the trailer, and they had to leave after they were done with it. And it's like, "Oh, 1 more hour," and they're like, "Well, I'm screwed, I guess."
And this was the middle of the day for you, Paigey, wasn't it? Like midday when this came out.
No, it was like. It would have been like midnight or something.
Oh,
like
midnight!
That.
Right. That's what I meant.
I think it was like. I think it was meant to. The advertised time was like 10 p.m. my time or something. And I think
5 in the morning for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It was like 7 in the morning for us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then it got to like 9:30. I'm like, oh, should I stay? I was like, no, I'll go to bed. And then I saw when I woke up that apparently like they added like an hour and 5 minutes or something to when it was
no, it was worse than that. Let me tell you, because I sat and watched the whole thing. I was laying in bed. I just got done playing Final Fantasy, and I knew the trailer was supposed to drop. So I turned on the Marvel stream to watch it, and the countdown started with like all of this sort of like 1960s sort of
space
like,
race stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah, like that kind of, which I think is kind of cool, but it was an hour. I was like, can we cut this down to maybe 30 minutes? Why is it an hour? So I watched that in the background while I was playing video games, kind of listening to what was going on. The chat room was crazy. There were so many people in the chat room talking about this. I had to close the chat window. It was just crazy. So many people watching this. Even though it was kind of annoying, I think the marketing was brilliant. And this tells me that Marvel has a lot of faith in this movie because this is probably the biggest marketing event they've done since the Avengers movies, if I had to be honest. Maybe since Spider-Man No Way Home. I think Spider-Man No Way Home had a lot of big marketing, but not this felt different to me, right? So not only did they do that, but they had a live stream with a host at a museum in Washington D.C., I believe, the Space and Science Museum, bring out the entire cast or the main Fantastic Four cast, and the energy in the room was crazy. There were people crying, literally crying when they saw them come out. And I don't know if it's because of the actors involved or what it was, but the energy was crazy in that room. And then they waited another like 11 minutes after the hour to finally, before the trailer came out. And I'm like, okay, it's now almost 8:30. Yeah, it was pretty wild. So I was excited to see it. And we're going to take a look. I've got a couple of tabs with different like HD shots of the trailer and stuff that we'll look at as we go through this. But I have to say, even though I know there's a lot of people trying to come at this trailer on social media for like some like crazy reasons.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I actually think this movie knows exactly what the movie is. Like they understand, they understand Fantastic Four. They understand their target demo. They get it in this movie, right, Omega? They absolutely get it. And I want to talk about that, but we're going to watch the trailer straight through like we always do because it'll probably get removed. They don't want to promo on anything, and it is going to be a Super Bowl ad. So chances are we'll get, I think the Super Bowl trailer might be a little bit different from this one because it's only 1 minute and 37 seconds long. But we're going to watch this. If it gets removed, you guys don't worry. We're going to talk about all of our thoughts after this. So if you click on this and it's gone and you haven't seen it, which I'm pretty sure most people have. So let's go. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Baxter Building.
We make a point to do family dinner every
this
week.
Looks beautiful.
Sunday at 7 on the dot, no matter
the
what.
The lighting, all of it.
We're all here.
Looks like a real set, too.
Yeah. Oh, God, it looks so retro-futuristic.
It seems like a lot of practical effects.
Yeah, I'll be the judge of that.
We'll get into the thing later.
Okay. Okay. Is this guy good or what?
I want to add a couple cloves of garlic. Not because it's not delicious. I just want to add a little bit of zip. Okay?
T-5. Before we went up the first time.
Yeah, it's like after watching this, I actually care about Fantastic Four now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ben wasn't a rock.
The best pilot in the world right here.
Yeah. Best looking, he means.
And Johnny never caught fire.
Such a good cut there.
Ben has always been a rock. Johnny is Johnny.
Vanessa looks just like Sue Storm.
Yes.
And I am right here.
That's literally Alex Ross come to life.
We'll face it together.
Oh, that car's kind of sick.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
As a family.
All right, we're gonna stop it there. Wait, is there something after that?
No.
That's it. Okay. All right, so that's the trailer. If you are watching on playback and it's gone, I apologize. Okay, so first I want to say the score sounds great. We can't listen to it all here, but I listened to the score first before the trailer came out. The sound is great. I will say, I don't want to compare them directly because I do think I want both of them to succeed, and I think they're both going to be great movies. But let's just talk about the setting of this retro futuristic world that they've established.
In like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah. I have to say, like, this is beautiful to me. Like this whole like vibe is great. I thought, and Paigey, and if you remember or not, isn't this what they were going to do with Superman originally? It was like a retro futuristic type of.
Gunn said Metropolis was going to have that sort of like old like Silver Age feel to it in regard, but like you watch the trailer and there's really nothing of that except maybe the inside of the Daily Planet. And even then, that still looks fairly modern. It was just like something a little bit like maybe how like some people are dressed. That was about it. Like so maybe they weaned off it, maybe just didn't fit other characters and stuff like. So they maybe didn't work with how they wanted to present Lex Luthor and stuff.
I mean, possibly, but I will say a couple of things that I like about this. it actually sets up the characters in a way that I think works, because I think the hardest thing about both the Fantastic Four and Fan Four Stick was trying to modernize the characters, knowing that the characters are they're the actual
very much the product of their time.
Yeah, like the foundation of the Fantastic Four really is sort of rooted in that like Americana type situation that we have, and so taking them back in that way where it's a modern day but also retro futuristic in their own little world is the perfect way to introduce these characters, because now anything outrageous that they want to keep from this can be held over after Secret Wars.
Yeah.
So I think that's brilliant. I'm buying all of this because you're suspending your disbelief already because it's superheroes, but then they're like, you know what? We're going to take it even further and say this isn't even the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's in that Marvel Cinematic Universe, but it is an alternate timeline. This is the world they live in, and it makes it so much easier to believe. So a character, I believe a character named Doctor Doom would exist in this world. I could see that. It makes sense to me. Just like a lot of the ridiculous costumes and just like, again, the aesthetics of the Fantastic Four, it all makes sense in this world. Any thoughts on that?
Now, here's the thing. It is a comic book movie, and it looks like a comic book movie. This is another reason why I absolutely effing hate the X-Men movies, because they tried to make it all realistic and grounded and cool, which is like, no, that's not what the X-Men are. It's supposed to be wild and crazy and going out in space and whatnot. This comic movie, I go for the crazy stuff. What do you expect? Yellow spandex? Yes! And this is what they're giving me with this. It's like, I'm kind of pissed off that it's Fantastic freaking Four, but you know what? Hey, this looks good.
But I think this would be the big thing though, is if people go watch it. Like, do people buy into that? Because I understand when shows or movies make it set in the real world because it's much more appealing. Some people want it to be grounded in a realistic thing. Like, sure, if you're a comic book fan, you're like, no, I want it. Like an actual,
you're gonna watch like another movie where.
But I think there's a but I think there's a reason that like Batman movies perform so well, because it is just essentially they just put it into the real world essentially like that. But then you'll see stuff where they actually try and make it like really comic accurate. Sometimes it works, but I think a lot of the times it probably doesn't, or it just does average. So I think if this does well, they might lean into what you're saying, and they go full comic accuracy with X-Men. Though I think there would be the want to do that anyway, because there's been so much of that realism or realistic take on it in the past.
I think between Superman and this, people want that true suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, people who want this stuff will just gravitate towards it. There's going to be an audience for it. It may not be a big audience, but there will. And Darren, I'll give you a chance to talk.
I think this movie has the potential to be $1 billion movie. I feel like this has the potential to be $1 billion movie.
I was watching this other someone else on YouTube goes by Nerd Cookie. She mostly does like a lot of Dune stuff because of course when Dune was coming out, I was watching a lot of her stuff. But she had a good point where she brought up like a lot of these sci-fi movies just aren't doing well because Dune 2 got snubbed for a lot of Oscars, and it deserved a lot. It deserved to at least be nominated, but it didn't even get nominated for a bunch of stuff. So it's like she was kind of when I was like, maybe a lot of these like sci-fi fantasy shows and movies just they're not getting attention by Hollywood.
Right.
It's hard to sell it to like a casual audience where it's just like it's like okay, here's a lot of lore that you have to like get in very early on. It's like it's definitely hard to sell. But no, I love this trailer. Like this trailer. It's kind of exactly what I was expecting it to be. I
started to get emotional watching it. It was really weird.
I mean, just the journey to here has been so crazy. Because I was talking about this on Lance's stream earlier. A year ago, I was ready to give up on this movie, right? Yeah. We had heard nothing for like 3 years. We had fan casting after director after writer, and I was sick of it. I was like, you know what, just cancel it. I don't care no more. But this last year was so much fun. Like as soon as we got the casting, it was like, oh, once they got going, I was hyped every step of the way. I liked the casting for like for the most part. That poster they put out looked really cool. When they came out of D23 and they had the like literal like flying car and they had all these aesthetics, I was like, this feels like they are really excited to make a movie again. it felt like they were ready to bring back such a heart and a a soul to a movie that I personally haven't felt from the MCU in a long time. Not to say I haven't loved them, I have, but they felt like there's so much passion behind this, and this trailer screams passion and it screams love for these characters and also this aesthetic that they're kind of aiming for and this world, and I think it's so refreshing. Again, to the MCU.
I also want to point out, I think the actors are doing a great job at the interviews.
Yeah.
Have you seen them when they were like talking about the movie? Vanessa Kirby at this actual event talked about like what this means to so many people, because you not only have to, I mean, it's so brilliant. And Paige, I want to jump to you in a second about casting, because I want to see what you think about it, because I know you didn't like some of the casting of this, but I think it's brilliant because I think this movie is a cross-generational film. It feels to me like the movie speaks to the people that loved Fantastic Four, the older people that loved it when they were growing up, and it also calls out to like the new generation, like, we want you to come be a part of this movie, want you to be a part of these characters. And I love that about it. I absolutely do. But Paige, you were critical. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Omega.
I was going to say, and usually when they try to appeal to like wider audiences, they kind of miss a lot of times. But this one seems like they're sprinkling in a little bit for everybody to come in, not like just focusing on one group, but kind of like putting a little bit for this group, a little bit for here, instead of just like dumping everything. Oh, this movie's for everyone and then it's for no one. This is doing it correctly. Yeah.
Paige, you were critical of some of the casting in this. Do you still feel the same way after seeing some of the stuff in the trailer? Or you like, I know you said that you didn't, was it Pedro Pascal and who else? Which one did you not like?
Well, that's the thing. I think this trailer, to a degree, backs up my thoughts on that casting, because who are the two characters they focus on, and who are the two characters that don't really speak and they just show them?
So you mean like Human Torch and Mr. Fantastic versus Thing?
They don't really speak, and they're just shown a bit. I mean, they don't even. Firstly, Sue Storm's. I'm assuming they're trying to advertise Sue Storm as almost the main character, because she's talking throughout the entire trailer essentially. Yeah. And then of course they emphasize the thing, but you hardly hear Johnny say anything. I think he says one word or something, or one line, and then Pedro says a couple of things. So I think clearly that's like sort of lines up where you had a really good casting for or Ben Grimm or the Thing, and then a really good casting for Sue Storm, and then two questionable castings, not bad castings,
right?
But one way if you look at the actor, you don't go, "Oh, they're that character."
Do you think that affects the overall film, though? Do you think these individual castings affects the overall film?
Based off the trailer, no.
Okay.
Based off the trailer, no. I do think it was weird that they showed all the powers except for Mr. Fantastic.
I think, so my theory is that's going to be in the Super Bowl trailer. I think they're going to add that into the Super Bowl trailer. That's what I
It'll be like one thing where someone's falling and he stretches out. Or
yeah,
because I think people don't realize that's a hard VFX thing to do. Like, that is not an
But
easy
you know what?
thing to
Shout
do.
out to Arrowverse, because they did a great job with that. When they were doing it on the Flash.
But they'd use like very creative ways to do it. Like, in a consistent manner, it's always going to look like rubbery, and that's what's the biggest thing when people criticize CGI. It's, it looks like rubber. It's like, well, he's literally sort of meant to look like that, but people will probably criticize anyway. But I agree. They might be saving that. Who knows? Maybe we don't know if Doctor Doom's in this. There was also no hint at Silver Surfer in this teaser either.
I think that they're saving. So I think all of that is being saved for like Super Bowl and then closer to the movie.
So do you think this is the official teaser? This will play in the theaters, then there'll be the big game spot or whatever they call it, and that's the one they want to go like viral on the internet.
I think we see another 30. I think they're going to add another 30 seconds to the Super Bowl trailer.
I think they might. I wouldn't be surprised if they show a completely different thing.
Okay.
But it's like literally 30 seconds. But it's like 30 seconds of,
because this is a quote unquote teaser trailer, so it's just meant to get you sort of.
Well, I think it's also
to wet your palate.
People were like, "Oh, they didn't show much." I'm like, "It's a fucking teaser. That's the whole point. It's meant to make you. It's meant to make you feel give you what the movie's meant to feel like." And to be honest, I know there's all the comparison to the Superman thing. I think this is a better job at a quote unquote teaser.
Yeah,
than the Superman
I agree with
film,
that,
because you know what I get from this? I get exactly what they're going for. From the Superman, I'm still not 100% sure, because it's like a bit. There's different elements that I don't necessarily think blend based off that teaser. Here, you know exactly what they're going for.
Yeah.
I do wonder if maybe they're scared to show the Mr. Fantastic effect. Because, I mean, look at all the people who are like, oh, the thing looks like shit. He looks bad, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
I think the way the Shrek thing is going to look, I think it might look good. But I know there's going to be people who are like, oh, that looks weird. Oh, that looks funny.
Well,
that looks whatever. And maybe they want to save that controversy after you got the first look out. Being like, okay, people are excited. Wait a little bit. Okay, and then show it off. And then wait. Because I think first impressions for a movie like this is very important.
Well,
I need to get people on.
I would say for the most part, I think this made a good first impression. I know there's some people complaining about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about all that. Let's answer some super chats quickly, and then we'll talk about some of the controversy surrounding the trailer. Where do we stop at? Okay. Sheldor here is a $5 super chat. Goes, Eric, are we all in agreement that if they choose to have the Fantastic Four start a connected universe outside the MCU, it would be better than Sony? So here's the thing. Literally on screen. No, by the way,
here's the thing. I've seen that a lot on Twitter.
Period.
I believe this will be the only Fantastic Four movie in this continuity.
Yes.
And what's going to happen is this movie will end in a way that maybe we get an end credit scene or something like that that sets up the incursions that are going to bring Battleworld together. Because I think that's what they're going to do. Because what's going to happen is these characters, probably Galactus, probably Silver Surfer, obviously Doctor Doom, will all get pulled into whatever reality Battleworld's going to be, and then they will keep the stuff that works and get rid of the stuff that doesn't work.
When you said Battleworld and all the incursions, I just got an idea. What if the X-Men universe is one of those universes that has an incursion or whatever? And
I think it absolutely will be. I think there will be some of that. Yeah, 100%.
I guarantee Fantastic Four 2 will be a fish out of water story for the Fantastic Four. Having to readjust.
They sucked in this universe. Like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
because building, where's the fuck's the Baxter building? What the hell? What's going on?
So what I think will happen is they're going to do a version of Battleworld because in the comics, Battleworld is just like a world where all of the universes that Doom wanted to exist kind of just exist on this planet together. So I think what's going to happen is that their world will get sucked into Battleworld. They'll meet all of the characters that we know from the MCU. They'll work together to stop Doctor Doom, whatever that looks like during Secret Wars. And then the world will be remade. And like Darren was saying, fish out of water. These characters will be spit into a world that looks more like the modern MCU, but they can still hold on to elements that they like from this one, which means we might see some of this retrofuturism in the MCU moving forward, but probably not a ton of it, but maybe some of it. Like, I think some of the Fantastic Four technology will stick around, post Battleworld. Nerder here with a $5 super chat. Superman is so lucky there wasn't a tease of a green glove or metal mask in the trailer. I actually still feel like he's going to be in here somewhere. Maybe in a post-credit scene, something like that. But if he is going to be in it, I believe he will be in the last teaser before the movie comes out. That's what I think.
He's going to be in it. If not, he's like, I think what Darren said, is he's going to be like in a post-credit scene or something.
And I'll be honest, I don't even know if they need, like, based on this trailer, I don't even know if they need that. I think the movie's probably going to do really
they already got Galactus, who's not a freaking space thunderstorm.
He looks so good. Where's the shot of the head here?
He was like, oh wow, it's actually freaking Galactus.
Like, that looks crazy to me. The helmet and everything is so good. So good.
Why couldn't they do this like 20 years ago? Like, look, God, this is
because like you guys were just saying a minute ago, they tried to make everything more modern. This is only here because it is retrofuturistic.
Because they're gonna have like a giant, like planet-sized humanoid. Like, no, that's stupid. They make him a thunderstorm. No, that's stupid. Come on.
That's the thing. I think at the end of it, like, Galactus is a goofy ass villain. He's a fucking big dude who eats planets. So like, I can understand why but also it's like, but you took something goofy and made it fucking stupid. Like, like, you got to balance it off. You know what I mean? I am interested. You know what I love about this shot though? If you ever watch some shows and they go, it's like the 70s or 60s, maybe even the 20s, whatever it is, the background never fucking looks like it. This actually looks like it's in the 60s. Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
there's not
That's
a
what I love about
ridiculous
this whole
high-rises.
trailer. Like every shot to me not only looked like it
sitcom,
existed in the 60s and 70s, it looks like it was filmed in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
another thing.
what I really love
always
about
like,
it.
Yeah, I always like the 60s aesthetic. I don't want to go back to the 60s. I'm black. Hell no. But no, just the aesthetic itself was like, wow, this stuff looks really cool. I always like that 60s aesthetic.
Yeah.
Wow, hold on. Can we just pitch a film though? Okay,
Oh,
so
no.
Mega, he goes back to the 60s, but it's that meets white chicks. So it's like
What the fuck?
it could be like an interesting situation. I know I'd watch that movie. Would you?
I'd be in the front seat. Yeah, for sure.
Do I have modern
weapons?
weapon? No, do I have modern weaponry? And do I have superhero powers?
You have
Name me
whatever
Magneto.
you have whatever you can fit in a designer pink handbag.
Okay.
I am screwed. I'm screwed. I have a gun, maybe.
How do you
Darren, what were you
guys-
going to say?
I've heard the theory being tossed around, and I think people were talking about it on Lance's channel while I was on it earlier. But I have heard people throw on the idea, what if this is not the first time they've done this in terms of traveling to another world? I kind of don't. I don't hate the idea of them have done this a couple of times, Galactus.
Them as in the
following
Fantastic
them.
Four?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
They've been following them Earth to Earth, eating the Earth, and they keep traveling to different ones. And which is we finally see again in the movie them go to the main 616 one to escape this one.
Well, can Silver Surfer travel the multiverse?
Yes.
I
think
believe
so,
I
yes.
believe I believe that actually, as far as I know, I think, and I could be wrong, chat, correct me on this because maybe my lore is wrong here, but I believe that Galactus isn't Galactus the same across the entire multiverse?
Yeah.
I think he's the same
I
person
remember,
because the
yeah.
power cosmic gives him the power to travel through multiverses, I think. if
I
remember
gotta look
correctly.
that up. Don't quote me on that, but I think
Yeah.
so.
But I think
I
that'd be an
could-
interesting thing if it's Silver Surfer that's maybe going through the multiverse, and but then it's there's Silver Surfer's trying to meet all the various versions of the Fantastic Four that will find the right one. Or something
I mean,
along those
I actually wouldn't be surprised if there is irreparable damage done to this Earth by Galactus before they end up going into an.
Oh no!
incursion.
I think this movie probably ends with this Earth being destroyed, being
Mhm.
literally
Ooh, that would be-
eaten, and
that
the
would be-
Fantastic Four escape.
Holy shit! I have to say right now, that would be a really bold choice for them. I
'Cause
mean,
what's-
I'm not saying I hate it, but that would be definitely a big.
Because
a
what's
big choice.
what's the next movie after this?
Probably Spider-Man?
Yeah,
Spider-Man 4 maybe.
And Spider-Man 4, they could set it Spider-Man 4 ends with maybe the Fantastic Four showing up. That'd be very comic booky because of
That'd be cool.
the Fantastic
Peter
Four and
and-
Spider-Man connection in the comic. But
I mean, if you think about it, the next 3 Marvel movies are kind of what people have been asking for, which is a return to that Phase 1 and 2 vibe.
well, you actually, I think the big thing is actually feel like you're leading up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it? It's this Spider-Man and then Doomsday, or is it this then Doomsday?
Depends if there's anything else announced.
Well,
about
there's that
Strange
rumor about
Three.
like
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and a couple.
That,
other
yeah, they
things
won't.
that
They
were-
won't force Shang-Chi and before
Yeah.
they'll try and probably do that after. So is
And then
Doomsday
there's
the movie
TV
after
shows
this?
too. There's Vision Quest that's coming out, and then
Yeah, hold on. Let me see.
Daredevil season 2.
Thunderbolts is before Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts
Yes,
is in
yeah,
May.
yeah, yeah.
Is it May?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is. It is. Let's see. Where's it at?
Because if this is the movie before Doomsday, it'd make a lot of sense that that would be the cliffhanger you have.
Yeah. Phase 5. Let's see. All right. So Thunderbolts ends Phase 5. Fantastic Four is the beginning of Phase 6.
So what's the next movie after that?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Yes, so it's Fantastic Four, then Doomsday, then Spider-Man.
Okay.
So that Spider-Man movie is going to take place on Battleworld. It'll be in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So
you set up Doom. Oh, I mean, let's be honest.
oh my god,
Doom's got to be in this movie then. Doom's
Yes.
got to be in this movie. Yeah.
yeah. But the other thing is, this means that we're going to get a Spider-Man in his own sort of pocket movie that doesn't connect to any. He's going to be a street level. Tom Holland will be your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like that's who he's going to be in that movie. Because it's
Am I the
going
only
to be
one
on
who watched
Battleworld.
Cosmic Spider?
Well, they said every movie that comes out between these two movies will be on Battleworld.
Yeah.
You know what? Seeing this trailer makes me. It sort of makes me wish that Gunn had just done this for just these DCU, just set it in a very distant. Like DC's always going to be like unrealistic to an extent, regardless if you really want to adapt it properly.
Yeah,
but it's like
man. I want DC. I mean, granted, I like Marvel better, but I want DC to succeed so bad. It's just they need a win. They need a win so bad.
I think Superman is their best chance at that win.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think it is.
It's looking like it.
All right, we got a couple more super chats here. Staggervore, 499 super chat. Do you think Robert Downey Jr. can make a post-credit appearance as Doctor Doom? I feel like with Doomsday coming up, he kind of has to. I actually think he needs to be a part of the movie in some degree.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense otherwise.
I like Robert Downey Jr., but could have got somebody else for Doom.
Well, they did say I can't remember if it was Daniel RPK or who said this, but I think it's been pretty much locked in, not geeked out, but locked in that he's only going to be Doctor Doom for this one story, and then that's it.
So
it's
it's just a Doom variant. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
that's fine. Okay.
Also, yeah, go ahead.
What really quick? Granted, I loved Pedro Pascal. He's my second man crush next to Henry Cavill, but I like the first Mr. Fantastic that we had in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
I liked him. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Pedro Pascal.
There are some people that prefer him as well, but the way he was portrayed in that, people didn't like it. So I guess we'll see.
He's probably a bigger name, more bigger draw. So,
I mean, he's a massive star. So yeah.
I never really got the hate of him, but just from the look of this trailer, I'm glad it's Pedro. Like I think he has. So, not to say that he wouldn't have had that. Like I'm not saying he wouldn't have also done well, but I think he really sold me in just just a little bit.
Yeah, just in the scene. Yeah, these few scenes alone. Yeah, like I said, he's my second hetero man crush.
Yeah, because I wasn't sure. Like when I first heard Pedro, I was like, that's a weird one for Mr. Fantastic. I was like, they have to sell me on it, and instantly I saw it. I was like, yeah, that's Mr. Fantastic. Okay, he looks the part for me so far, and I think in about 5 years he will be the face of Mr. Fantastic for everyone. For
I think he's got the potential to be what Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch and all of them are to those characters. Tom Holland to Spider-Man. Yeah, just the face of those characters. The South Texas Shark here. This might be for you. Has anyone gooned up as of late?
I did see that apparently there's a gooning civil war going on.
Oh yeah, there is. Yeah, there is.
Apparently, it's because that guy went to the drive-through and then took his own life after being exposed.
Yeah,
and now
people are wondering. I feel bad for that dude, man.
Well, people are wondering how to respect his honor and respect his legacy, and there's people that think that should have been the last goon. And there's no more goon. There should no more.
My hands up here.
The last goon on Earth. Got it.
Yeah, that should have been the last goon. But then there's another side which thinks that the goon should continue to respect his legacy and what he did.
Well, we'll revisit.
That's the thing,
weeks,
Eric. You can be the deciding vote. Where do you lie on this?
I think it should be the gooning should continue. I think is where
the gooning should continue.
What is a goon? A chronic masturbator.
All right, so Cameron here with Darren, you're muted.
He was gooning.
What did you say?
It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Cameron with a $5 super chat. Eric, I see Snyder. I'm not surprised with this one. I see Snyder cultists are using the Fantastic Four to talking down on Superman. You could have this is one of the things where if you didn't tell me this, I would just assume this is what's happening because I really feel like that's the state of DC right now is anything they can use to go after Superman and attack Superman. And, it's just so weird to me because if you look at that as superhero fans, I think everything that's coming out this year looks good to me. It all looks like something that I would go to the theater and see. Yeah. So I don't really see the point in attacking one with the other. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
What we were talking about and hoping would not happen has officially happened, where where we were saying, hey, how cool would it be if we came together and was like, hey, there's two great superhero movies in the theater at the same time on Marvel DC.
Yeah.
The opposite of what we thought is happening, where it's like, oh no, it's Marvel versus DC again. Oh my god!
Yeah, someone in the chat even brought up the whole Barbie and Oppenheimer thing. It's like two drastically different movies.
We could have had like go see Superman and then get your tickets for Fantastic Four and make it a great like month or whatever. And
like when Doom, like when I think Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing were coming out, two drastically different games. There was no beef or anything. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go enjoy my demon killing game. You enjoy your vibing farming game. Okay, cool.
Right.
Well, did we talk about this before about when there was a month where we had two different movies from these two companies that both looked really good? Has this ever happened before?
Well,
arguably Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Well, arguably Civil War, Batman v Superman.
That's it. Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of. But normally they don't do this. Normally we don't see. I mean, this. Even though it isn't the same weekend, it is sort of a head-to-head thing, right?
Close enough, yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, I feel like it is, and I don't want it to be because I want both of these movies to do well.
Yeah. I think the closest matchup before this was, I think it was Captain Marvel Shazam.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I'm not too sure what the difference was in regards to dates, though. They were close, though.
I think it's funny. We kind of had this in 2023, but kind of like the opposite. One was really, really good. The other was bad. Sorry, Paigey. We had Across the Spider-Verse and The Flash came out like weeks apart from each other.
Right.
Both superhero multiverse movies.
With two characters that are arguably very similar. Like when people talk about what is the DC's answer to Spider-Man, a lot of people would say Flash. But
I think the difference is that Shameik Moore waited until after the movie had come out to be a bit weird. Ezra decided to go. Being is literally the promotional tool.
Yeah, then Ezra Miller is a freaking crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's and the Flash just was not good.
Oh well, all right. Lone Wolf here, member for 51 months. All right, I'm so glad it's not a giant cloud anymore. Look, we got one more super chat. Then I want to get into some of the criticisms I have about the trailer and stuff people have been saying about it because I love it, but I think there are some things that people have discussed that are worth talking about. But nobody has complained about Galactus being Galactus and not a giant cloud. I think that's one thing that we can all agree on.
I have heard some criticism.
I did say it. Yeah,
I've heard people being like, "He's too small. Why does he look?"
Well, he can
like
change
that?
size. In the comics.
They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't know.
They don't read comics. They don't. I will say.
Like literally, if you watch the cartoons, you can see that he can change size. It's something that's been known for a long time. Oh my god, it's so frustrating.
They don't read the comics. They don't care. They just like, it's something.
They just want to complain.
Okay. Yep.
They just want to complain.
Cody here with the $5 super chat. The fire in the sky is the Watcher warning to the Fantastic Four. Oh, okay. I
do think the Watcher is in this movie. I would not.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
I think this movie is going to do so much, whatever the runtime is. I think it's going to cover so much because I think we have Red Ghost. Isn't that confirmed as John Malkovich's character is supposed to be Red Ghost? I think that was who it is.
I would not be shocked if Watcher opens the movie. Like if we open the film being like, hey, this is another, like this isn't the universe you know. Kind of like how you open What If, just to set like casual audiences being like, okay, not DMs can. I mean, I had a friend today that was like, hey, like where in the timeline does this take place? I was like, well, nowhere.
I actually think it's chronologically in the same time. It's just on a different reality is what I think
agree.
It is.
Yes.
So I believe that's what's happening. I hope, because we didn't see a lot of it, and Paigey, you had me thinking when we discussed the whole Reed Richards thing. I wonder if Reed Richards is going to be more of like a lighthearted Reed Richards, or if he's going to be more of like the egotistical, I'm smarter than everybody Reed Richards, which is one of the big complaints about the John Krasinski version of Reed in Multiverse of Madness.
It'll be interesting to see because it's just that you don't really get a feel of what his character's going to be.
He looks like Reed to me. He looks like Reed.
But Pedro Pascal, I think it's going to be the more kind of like likable, kind of goofy genius type of goofy genius type of Mr. Fantastic.
It's tough because he has to figure out if he's going to be like Tony. Is he going to be like Doctor Strange? Is he going to be
Right.
like Peter? Like, he has to bring something different in, right? Paige?
Yeah, he has to be
different from those
himself.
characters.
Yeah, he has to be Mr. Fantastic. It's
Well,
its own thing.
He sort of looks like a Howard Stark recast in this trailer. So, like, I wonder if maybe they go with that
Well,
sort of
isn't that
aspect,
just the
like,
era? Isn't that the era though? Like they just all
Yeah,
kind of
it's
look
right.
like
Right
this?
Yeah,
around the
like
same era, I think.
like a seedy moustache and
I don't think he's gonna be like super nice because I think they might give that role to Ben. Like I think Ben.
Yeah, Ben's gonna be the good.
Yeah.
Ben's gonna be the bro, the dude, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he is how you sell tickets. I think he is going to be the like audiences. I hate to say it, but like almost like your Groot or your Rocket, where it's like, oh, this like lovable little guy that everyone kind of loves.
Well, because he's he's the story. He's the tragic story of the four of them. Because even though all of them have powers, he is the character that's locked in a body made of rocks, basically.
Yeah.
And so you're supposed to feel sorry for him because of that. Okay, so this brings me to some of the criticism.
One thing I wanted to bring up was like in the original, well, not the original, the first Fantastic Four movie, which I think the Ben Grimm in that one, he did a.
I
was
really
it Michael
like him.
Chiklis? I think he
Yeah,
was.
it was Michael Chiklis. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Michael
he
Chiklis,
did a very good job for.
I like
Ben
him a
Grimm in
lot.
that
Yeah.
one too, yeah. If this guy does at least half of what he did, I'm good.
Well, it sounds to me like in this particular version of Ben Grimm is going to be a guy who is very much I don't want to say vain. I don't think that's the right word, but he makes the comment about how attractive he is and everything. So looking like this is going to definitely affect him in a negative way.
He's kind of like the oh yeah, you're such a great guy. Nah, stop it. I'm not that guy. I'm all right.
Yeah. So some of the criticism I've seen, and Omega, we talked about this for a moment before we went live, is the idea that the VFX are completely done. They're not. They never are. These teasers don't have complete VFX. So people are criticizing some of the VFX in it. And we've seen almost consistently that the VFX that we see in the trailers, with the exception of maybe one or two films over the years, is not the finished VFX. They're going to be working on this until it gets sent out to theaters, finishing up some of this stuff. Right. The Sonic movie. Because a lot of people have criticized how the thing looks. They say he's not big enough. Pick up a comic book. He's not a huge character. He's wide and bulky, but he's not like the size of the Hulk.
He's not.
He never has been.
He's still more or less human size, average human size.
Right. He was even smaller and shorter than characters in the Fantastic Four movie from the 2005 era.
Yeah.
So, the only one I've seen where he's been portrayed bigger than everybody is in the Fan Four Stick movie, where they made him like the Hulk. But he doesn't really look like that in the comic books. It's just not the way the character looks.
One complaint I do have: his head is a bit small, but no, it's fine.
But I think they're going with the Alex Ross version, which has a smaller head. I think that's what they're doing.
I just have I didn't really care for that one, so I just have that small little nitpick. That's it.
But I think, and Paige, you talk about this when it comes to the Flash movie, where people can still complain about the VFX and stuff like that. To you, it's not a super important thing, right? You're not looking at that when you're watching.
It's still an important factor, but if it's your first jump for criticism, it means you're probably trying to scrape at the bottom of the barrel. It's like there's a lot more stuff that's towards the surface, and I mean, with this, I think it looks fine. My only thing is like some of the mouth movement looks weird, but at the end of the day, he's a fucking giant rock. Like there's not going to be those smaller movements.
The mouth movement to me looks like something that's not done. It looks like it's just not finished.
There's still a bit of syncing that has to go up, but they probably have to like trial and error the whether it looks right for a giant rock dude. Like how do his lips move? All you see of him like obviously in the early 2000s one, like it's a guy in a suit, so it's much more natural. And I think the Fan Four Stick one didn't look great either. It's probably the same sort of issue that they had.
Yeah, look, Anthony says he's literally 6 feet in the comics.
I'm taller than him.
Flex.
Not as wide, nowhere near, but I'm taller than him.
Well, Eric's shorter because Eric's 5'1".
What?
No, Eric's like 5'8".
Not that short.
He's like 5'8".
Anyway. Some of the other criticism has been like really dumb stuff. Like, I think they were talking about how the costumes looked out of date or out of time. And I saw somebody complaining about that. And I'm like, it's retro futuristic. I expect them to look this way. They complained about the fact that it looks like and this is why I was trying to find it here, that the Baxter building looks like Avengers Tower. And I'm like,
yeah,
it's a building. I mean,
but also mind that Are we sure that's not meant to be the point almost?
Yeah.
Right, Paige. What Paige just said. Maybe it is supposed to be an allegory for the Avengers Tower.
It's meant to be like there is no Tony Stark, at least yet.
On this world, like when we watched Multiverse of Madness, they talked about in their reality when they defeated Thanos, it was almost completely different heroes.
Right.
So on this world, the Fantastic Four are the Avengers. They are the people defending the Earth. So
I think, I don't think there's any other Avengers here. I think they are the world's only heroes.
Yeah, there may be a Black Panther. There may have been a Namor here and there, but they
That'd
were
be
still
actually
like.
cool to see.
But then there's still. I mean, Black Panther, especially in the '60s, there's been T'Chaka, and there's been.
Oh, so you're saying like only like the OG, like the old school, like Silver Age and Golden Age character? Yeah, that might be that may be possible.
I have
Tony
heard
Stark may not have been here yet.
Well, there might have been a Captain America or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well, he may have been still frozen.
Well, he's frozen now, but he was around in World War II. But he's been gone for almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
I have heard people bring up the theory where it's like, oh, we're gonna bring back Black Panther, T'Challa. And I was like, okay, maybe those rumors aren't for the mainstream MCU. Maybe we get a quick cameo in Fantastic Four as this variant that just lives here, but we're not recasting him.
Oh yeah, especially in this, we may get T'Chaka instead.
Right. That could be cool.
I also think one of the things that's really cool about this is if the Watcher does introduce this world, we might see where this timeline deviated from the main time, like where this branch timeline came from, because it has to have something in common with the one.
They could make it that maybe Wakanda folded into normal society earlier. And that's why it's advanced in the 60s.
That's why retrofuturism took over, because this technology was where that fold happened. That might be what
so
that
style and everything hadn't evolved, but technology had.
Yeah.
You could even pull a what if, be like, well, Howard Stark never died, right? In that reality. So his his technology kind of got everywhere, right? Like everyone had all of that stuff. Something like that could be cool.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next controversy about this, and then we'll jump to the next subject. I think we have this will be the next thing we talk about here. So there was some controversy about the poster, the one that we see here, being AI.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because it looks like what an AI poster would look like. I fear this is the future for us for a while. Is people are just going to claim stuff as AI without knowing 100%.
I'm fairly good at poking out pointing out AI stuff, but this doesn't seem AI as far as I can tell.
Marvel came out and says they didn't use AI to make the new poster. A rep from Marvel Studios tells Deadline that AI wasn't used. There was speculation online that the comic book powerhouse used AI to make this one poster, which is weird. Why would they just do one random AI poster? Given that 2 women had the same face and some people are shown with 4 fingers in the one sheet. And it goes down here to say, Disney did in fact use AI to create the opening sequence of Secret Invasion. Big mistake. One of the dumbest things they ever did.
You look horrible.
But I don't think they've done anything since then.
Yeah.
It says the first steps poster dropped today along with the movie's first teaser, and don't be shocked if it appears during the Super Bowl on Sunday. But it doesn't say anything else about the poster. They're just saying that they said it wasn't. I don't see any reason why they would risk putting out an AI poster, one random AI poster with all of the other promotional materials. To me, that seems like a really silly thing for them to do. I mean, if it comes out that they did use it, of course I'll be like, that's fucked up. But as of right now, it doesn't scream AI to me.
Yeah.
Meister says it looks pretty ass though. Well, I think the issue is they're trying to world build with this movie, because this isn't the MCU. This is a separate world. So they want everything to sort of feel aesthetically connected to that world. So I think they're committed to the bit, as they would say. They're
what
they're
this
totally
looks
in
like?
it, so
I don't know if anyone's ever seen footage of the day, but it looks like they're all attending the parade that ended up with JFK being assassinated.
Well, that's what somebody said. It looks like Lobo says, looks like old propaganda. I mean, it just looks like a bunch of people back in the 60s. That's why you're saying that, Paige. It looks like when people in the 60s used to go to these parades and stuff, this is what it looked like. This is what they did,
Yeah, they weren't, there wasn't all these, you can just put your phone and live stream it on your phone or something. Yeah. They went there. There was fanfare around everything, especially stuff that was this. And it's almost like you have to be there.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about, again, we have 4 big things to talk about, and we're running good on time right now. is this here. It's a teaser for Captain America: Brave New World. This isn't really it's an actual scene from the movie, and I probably wouldn't have talked about it except for the fact that several people say that it looks a little wonky, and I'm gonna be if it looks wonky to me, I'll say it looks wonky to me. But let's watch, because I haven't watched the whole thing. I've only seen bits and pieces of it, so this may get removed. You guys know how it is. You have to be here at the live stream to see it. What do you say, Paige?
Be here or be queer. I think that's what they say.
You got to get locked in or you're geeked out. So anyway, here we go.
Not that hard. Where'd your rib go? You need a minute?
Nope. Let's get this over with. I got shit to do today.
I actually like his suit.
Damn. Nobody saw that.
Yeah.
Looks like a pilot suit. I like it.
Yeah.
Bags are secured.
I'll add your star to my collection.
Wait, that's the old suit, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Need a minute? That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really like that. I'll be honest. I will say I like the look of this scene here with him flying down with the suit and everything.
Yeah.
I think it looks pretty cool. Suit right here, great. 2 thumbs up for me. I think this fight scene looked very much like we're practicing for the fight scene.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, I think this is the beginning of the movie. This might be the first few minutes of the movie. So it's quite possible that he realizes in this moment that he didn't take the super soldier serum and it's really affecting his ability to be Captain America, which is why they upgrade to the new suit with all the Wakandan tech in it. That's what I believe is going on, and I hope that's the situation, because otherwise it looks a little bit like this guy is Captain America, and I don't want that to be. Why did they release this clip?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like, again, it'll probably be better within the context of the movie. Like, we were literally just dropped in the middle of this fight scene, whatever. But why choose this scene to market your hero? He's getting beat by just like a guy.
Yeah, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, it's like, so why would someone want to go see a movie where your main hero is getting your ass kicked, not in like a flattering way, not like, oh my gosh, I was gonna do it.
Yeah, this wasn't great, Marvel. You probably shouldn't have released this. It's too close to the movie getting released. I feel like this was really dumb. Do I think the movie is going to be like this? No, but I think so. Here, look, this is what I think could be happening, and if it's not, it's bad. But it's quite possible this is the end of a very long fight between these two guys, and they're both, because neither one of them looked like they were top form in this fight. I think this is going to be him saying that he needs to upgrade because he's not a super soldier. So I think he's going to need a new suit, because he literally just cut the suit. Did you see that? Like,
yeah,
it literally shows him cutting the suit, and I'm like, what?
I've heard people say that might be adamantium, like it's an adamantium knife that he's cutting through, because his suit's vibranium, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a vibranium suit, so it shouldn't just be able to get cut. So
there's also the fact that like the new Falcon is off doing something else, so you'd assume they start off together, and then he ends up here, and Falcon ends up where he is and stuff. So it might be like some long.
Also, this guy could be part of the Serpent Society. Like, he could literally have powers. We just don't know for sure.
To be honest, he looks a bit like you, Eric.
What? He's just a white guy with a beard. You say that anytime we see a white guy with a beard. I think he might be part of the Serpent Society, unless somebody has more information. But I already got tickets. Look, they finally went on sale for us. I got tickets, so we're good. But it was selling out quickly at my theater.
When's it come out?
14th.
The 14th. So
week.
Oh, that's
week and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why they shouldn't have released this clip. I'm sorry. Why did they release this clip?
Yeah, I'll probably
Oh
go
my
see
God.
that either. Oh shoot, yeah, I'll probably see that on the 18th.
Yeah. Either way, there's a little bit more here. We got this, which is Harrison Ford talking about Anthony Mackie, and I want to talk about this for a moment and say this is very boomerish. This comment is very boomerish, but I'm not mad at him for saying it because I think he's just trying to fire back at some of the criticism. Yeah. So it says, I don't think there's a black Captain America. I think there's just Captain America. He could have left it there. But then he goes on to say what I think is one of the worst things any white person can say when it comes to like talking about.
He's like what 80-some now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm giving him credit for it because he could be red or he could be red or green, but he's not. He's Anthony Mackie. He fills the shoes, whatever they are. I know he's referencing Hulk, but this idea that like talking about people's skin color, they comparing a real person to like
I don't see
red
color
or green or whatever. Right? Yeah.
Right.
But I have to give him credit because he sees what's happening. He knows what's going on. He's aware that everybody's talking shit about it. If this okay, so let's go back to that scene we just watched. If this movie ends up being bad, which I still don't think it is, but if this movie ends up being bad, it's going to be because of stuff like that. It's not going to be because Sam is Captain America. It's going to be because the ball got dropped somewhere else. Now, I did look into the director of this movie after I saw clips from that scene. And the director of this movie hasn't done a ton of stuff, which made me a little bit concerned because he's a director that has worked on, I think it was like one of the sequels to, what is it? Cloverfield? I think he did one of the Cloverfield sequels.
Hopefully it wasn't that one in space. That was.
I think it was. I think it was actually.
Oh,
Hold on, let me double check.
The one where they baited people in the Super Bowl when it's live now on Netflix.
Yeah, Cloverfield Paradox. I think that's it. Let me double check.
We're back.
Let's see. Cloverfield Paradox.
I'll say I've been kind of impressed with his press stuff so far because like we kind of like all like expected him to kind of do his like normal like Harrison Ford stuff that he like you know talking down and stuff like that. He seems like he's having a blast though. Like he seems like he's
are you talking about Harrison Ford or Anthony Mackie?
Yeah.
Oh
Harrison Ford. Like it seems like he's actually like enjoying the movie he's a part of.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, the vibe is right for this movie. That teaser they released was bad. Julius Ona is the director. He's done 1, 2, 3. He's done 4 movies before Captain America. The Girl is in Trouble from 2015. It's got Wilmer Valderrama in it.
Oh, that's fitting because isn't he a pedophile?
I don't know. Are you joking or are you being serious?
No, I'm pretty sure like he dated like a 15 or 16 year old.
I'd say because that's a really bad joke if it's a joke, but I don't know enough about Wilmer. Cloverfield Paradox was the one that he directed, so the one page you didn't like.
Oh, that's not good.
Lucy,
I didn't like one that the one that was universally not liked.
Yeah, you didn't like it. Lucy, which is a 2019 American social thriller drama. Bad Genius, which is a 2024 heist movie.
Is that a Baby Genius sequel?
I don't know. And then Captain America: Brave New World is the so. I don't know how he got. I'm guessing because this has a thriller feel to it, and maybe they felt like that's a good thing for this director. I believe they probably wanted to like Russo brothers this guy, like bring him in as a newbie to like movies like this and give him a shot. He's gonna play well with the studio. He doesn't have an ego. He's not.
I think he just danced. I think he's like a studio sort of director where he can play. Like if you give him notes, he'll be like, "We're following those notes. Thanks for those, Kevin Feige. We'll follow them."
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it a lot in the past where I feel like sometimes in the MCU, directors don't really matter at this point because like the movie Kevin Feige wants to get made is the one that's going to get made. It doesn't really matter. They're just kind of there to be like, hey, we are a director and we were a part of this movie, but like, how much creative freedom do they actually have when it comes to making the movie? So,
yeah, I mean, when you're playing around with like $200 million, like
right.
I mean, if you want to have your way and make your movie, go make your $5 million indie because that's where you can.
Well, Serenity, the only thing is I don't think TV and movie directors always translate well between the two formats. I think sometimes they can. There's great moments where that happens, but then there's a lot of times where it's very obviously a problem. That's what a lot of the problems we have with the MCU TV shows was the fact that they didn't have like a proper TV showrunner. They just had like movie directors. So there we go. Short Car says definitely not an all-star lineup of previous work. Yeah, you know, it still could be good. It still could be. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not writing it off that one scene. I just question why they decided to show that clip in there in the first place. Oh, look, Andy's in the house. Good to see you, Andy.
Hello, Andy.
Happy to have you here. I hadn't seen you in a while, so good to see you. All right. This is one that I just kind of threw this in there. This isn't a main topic or anything like that, but this is from comicbook.com. Black Panther producer Nate Moore has debunked rumors that Marvel Studios is planning to cast a new actor to play T'Challa in the MCU. So this is what I like to call wordplay, right?
Yeah.
The truth is there's no truth to those rumors. Never say never to anything, but everything you read online is not true. So
I like to call this the James Gunn playbook.
Yeah, the two-step, the director two-step. So or producer two-step here. So if T'Challa does show back up in the movies, I believe it's going to be T'Challa Jr. as T'Challa, which is effectively not necessarily a direct recast, but them sort of playing fast and loose with who T'Challa is in the comics.
Who would you fan cast?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I would say he's saying that they're not trying to recast Chadwick Boseman's T'Challa, which I truly believe that is for sure. Like, I think that's real. So he's playing a little bit of word games here with this one. But, you know.
I mean, at this point, considering where they're heading, it could be multiverse T'Challa.
Yeah,
if they really want to.
Yeah, but again, I don't think he's talking about. I think he's specifically talking about recasting the MCU Chadwick Boseman T'Challa, and I don't think they're doing that. I think it could be a multiverse T'Challa. It could be younger T'Challa getting older, but he's not necessarily lying, but he's also not answering the question. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
What do we have here? Let's talk about. We'll just look at these quickly. So, Last of Us season 2, we got some photos. It's Pedro Pascal Day here. So he's in everything. Here we go. You know, nothing too exciting, but it's always nice to see them filming on location. I think that says a lot instead of in front of a green screen. Is anybody excited about this season 2 of Last of Us?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I'll watch it, but it's also like one of those things where it's just like it probably plays into the fact that like when did season 1 come out? Like 2.5 years ago or something?
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute.
January of 23. So it's been
2
years.
2 years, yeah.
Didn't like The Last of Us 2, the game. I just thought the story was too pretentious, but
yeah. There's a criticism of the game for sure. Yeah.
It may work better it may work better as a TV, but I'm sure it'd be fine.
I have to say that, like, and this is a comment made here by yours truly, the makeup in The Last of Us is so good, it's so natural looking.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I loved about the first season was it felt like they were literally in the world, and a lot of that has to do with a lot of the practicality of makeups and lighting and special effects and things like that within scenes. So shout out to them. Staggerverse said I'm looking forward to for it. Renee said never watched it. All right.
It's
there you go.
Probably my most anticipated of the year outside of probably Daredevil and maybe Stranger Things. Like, I think those are like the top 3 for me. No, I couldn't be more excited. I love the games. I think the first season was my favorite season of TV back in 2023, especially episode 3. If they can even bring one episode of the show to the caliber of episode 3, just like even half of what that episode did, we're in good shape. I don't know if you saw the thing that had come out earlier where they had basically said season 3 will be, if not 2 seasons, 3 seasons of TV, which I think that's going to be interesting to see. Like, if it is the 3 seasons they're splitting up between all the games, where are they going to stop each time? Right?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. Based on the way the game goes, I have no clue.
Right.
I don't know. But we're going to have to wait. After this, we have to wait another 2 years for a season. I mean, that's what I wonder about. Because, to be honest, Pedro Pascal is very busy, and depending on... I don't want to spoil the game. I don't want to spoil the game, but depending on the way they wrap it up, I mean, that could affect the... It could affect the filming of the show. All right, so this was a little fun news here. Nintendo loses a lawsuit against Costa Rica grocery store
I
named
saw
Super
that.
Mario. Store operated for over 50 years. Nintendo's trademark doesn't cover supplies of basic food products. We knew these big companies have vast resources to fight, and we refuted all of Nintendo's arguments. So I guess if you live in Costa Rica, you can go down to the Super Mario and get your groceries.
Or you probably just have to call Nintendo out on their bullshit, because they will do all sorts of takedowns and cease and desist things on their. I mean, they defend their IP like a freaking hawk.
Yeah, true.
I think,
that is true.
and some stuff, especially when it comes to like emulators and stuff, because as soon as they send like a system cease and desist, like a lot of they'll just like with the one Smash Brothers mod they had coming out that a lot of people use for Smash tournaments. I think because you're not going to pay for all these lawyers or anything. They're like, they might have won that case, but it's just, who's going to pay for all that stuff? So you might just need to just call them out on their bullshit, and you might win.
Yeah, most people won't fight them because they have so much money. It's like they have so many lawyers.
They'll just drown you in litigation.
Yeah. We have here, I don't want to talk too much about the allegations because it's still kind of just a bunch of stuff happening, but it looks like there's a lot of controversy around the Sandman show now, because they're saying that it's been canceled, but from what I know, season 2 was the last season, right?
Well, that was the big thing, because there was a lot of conversation about the name change. They might change it to the SA Man just to sort of fit in with what's everything that's going on, and it might just turn people off the show. So that sort of explains the cancellation.
This is why I can't have a serious conversation about it. You do understand that, right? Like, we can't talk about
you're never going to jump into the finer details, so...
I'm not, but part of the reason why is because there's too much humor back and forth.
Well, the actual... did anything else... I just saw the thing where his wife got involved now or something.
Yeah. Apparently the latest update is that there's some more stuff coming forward, and they're actually going to go... They're going to...
But nothing...
or whatever.
But no new allegations. It's the same one that his wife got fucked. Okay.
Yeah.
I saw a thing about it, but I remember like the initial report was fucked up.
Oh, it was. That's why we never. You're right. That's why we never discussed that one, because that one was pretty rough. But I was under the impression that this was the final season, right? Was it season 2?
I thought that was the whole talk. Is that like they were just putting the rest of the Dream storyline from the books into this season, all the main stuff.
Yeah.
But then again, I think that was after those initial allegations, because remember they came out like ages ago, and now just these more in detailed things came out. Because remember that other show he did got turned into just a movie or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Anthony says like it was supposed to have multiple seasons, like 3 to 4. Yeah, but I think they announced like a while ago that this was going to be the last season.
I think it was when like Netflix got a whisper that he was a creep.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this the same guy that does the New Omen show?
That's the show. Yeah.
Okay.
The one with Michael Sheen and David Tennant.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
because I saw that got stripped down to like, okay, it's going to be like 4 final episode. Now it's like 1. It's like one.
It's just a movie.
Episode.
It's like a TV movie you just put online.
Right.
So that's the biggest casualty of this kind of stuff, is these studios don't want to be connected to the creators of these things. So everyone involved with these projects loses jobs because one person did something wrong.
Yep.
That's probably the biggest downside to all of this from a entertainment aspect, because clearly there's some shit going on. There's a lot of allegations. I believe some of them have to be true. So, even if you just take it out at face value, yeah, you don't want to work with this guy anymore. But then everybody else that loves these things has to throw them away because of what he did. And this is kind of where we get to the J.K. Rowling, like Harry Potter thing. And we're not going to spend 35 minutes talking about this, but I do want to point this out, that this is why it's so tough when it comes to stuff regarding Harry Potter, because you have a bunch of people that grew up loving that stuff. You have a bunch of people involved with making things for Harry Potter that do not agree with J.K. Rowling, that do not necessarily get on board with the way she does stuff online or whatever. And all of that goes down in smoke because people just wrap it up with one person. And it might be the creator, but these people have enough money. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. in the end about that. You know what I mean? Like J.K. Rowling could literally be cut off from Harry Potter today and be fine for the rest of her life. That's just the reality of it.
And her husband's like a doctor as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you should hold people accountable, but when you hold someone like Neil Gaiman accountable or J.K. Rowling accountable, does that mean that everybody else working on projects that are tied to those things now have to be held accountable for what that person did? I don't know if I agree with that or not. I don't know. It's a tough call. Chat, what do you think? Do we cancel everything because one person connected to it ends up being a piece of shit? Is that what we do? Or should these studios just continue to make these productions and do it independently without being involved? Because I know there's contractual stuff. Like there's sometimes where you can't do it because of contract reasons. And maybe that is what happens behind the scenes. But if you own the IP and you have the ability to make it and you still cancel it just for face value, that's a little strange to me.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. But it is what it is. All right. We have this story here. We're moving into our final story of the night, by the way. So Tyler Hoechlin on James Gunn's Superman. He goes, I've always been excited about whenever the day comes to pass the baton. I think they're great. I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, so I can't wait to see what James has done with it. This is I love Tyler Hoechlin. I'm so sad that we're not going to see him as Superman anymore. But look, I shout out to David Cornsweet. I really hope you do a great job with this. But he, to me, in his personal life and in TV, sort of represented what Clark Kent and Superman is. Like, he just carries himself like that outside of acting. He's just a nice guy. You know what I mean? And he was in Teen Wolf, right? Wasn't he on Teen Wolf? Mm-hmm. I don't know because I never watched that show all the way through. I don't know if I can go back and watch that show with him in it because I feel like I only see him as Clark Kent and Superman. I know that sucks, but I feel like it's such a strange thing because it's a younger him. It's when he was younger when he was doing that, right? So
yeah, and it's such a different kind of character too because he's very like, I don't say edgy, but like he's a darker character. He's like kind of mean and roughed and stuff like that. So it's like it's a really interesting contrast to him and Teen Wolf and him and Superman. They're like very polar opposite kind of characters.
Yeah. But this is good. And also, Bitsy has also been very supportive of this upcoming project. You know, I wish that fans could take a breather. All this infighting doesn't help anything when it comes to like better content. It just doesn't. Like fighting with James Gunn and making up lies about him and all these awful memes and stuff. It doesn't really help anything. And again, we talked about this a little bit, but I hope that by the end of 2025, when it gets to the point where we can stop looking at things through this lens of like, oh, it does XYZ, so it's going to be bad, that we can all just sort of recognize that we love this stuff and we want the best of this. But I do feel like there are some communities that it's just not going to happen. I don't think Snyder's community is ever going to course correct. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's always just going to be full of toxic people. I'd love to be wrong about that, but I feel like it just is. I don't see any other way around it. They're always attacking people and coming after people. Anyway, all right, this is the last story I want to talk about, and we're going to look at this article from Deadline, and then we'll chit-chat for a moment with everybody. So I saw this the other day, and you guys are going to have to sort of help me out with this one, because I do believe that someone said this happened before. So the estate of Superman creator Joseph Schuster has filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers in DC. They claim the studio lacks the rights to release James Gunn's Superman in a number of territories, including Canada, United Kingdom, Ireland, and Pagey, unfortunately, Australia as well. And someone told me this has happened with every Superman movie. Is that true? Have there been independent lawsuits against every Superman movie?
Well, it happened with Man of Steel. I know it happened with Man of Steel. But the thing is that like the two writers, but I think the one that got screwed over the most is the one that's from not this estate. I think it was it Siegel or Schuster? I can't remember. Obviously, they're the two.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the copyright comes up in. When would it come up? 13 years? 12 years? Whenever it comes up.
Oh, you mean in terms of like holding on to the IP?
Where pretty much anyone can make a super. It's like what we're seeing with like the Winnie the Pooh crap and stuff like that.
Right.
Where anyone can make a Superman.
Temple says every Superman had one and they always lost. So they've not won this ever?
It will be 2034, so about 9 years.
Yeah, so 9 years, we're going to get some stupid shit. Let's be completely honest. But
it says the estate of creator Joseph Schuster is suing Warner Brothers and DC Comics, claiming it lacks the rights to release the upcoming summer tentpole in a handful of key territories. Plaintiff Mark Warren Purley, executor of the state, filed the suit today in federal court in the Southern District of New York, seeking damages and injunction relief for defendants' ongoing infringement in Canada, UK, Ireland, and Australia, as well as a declaratory relief establishing Schuster's estate ownership rights across relevant jurisdictions. It's a matter ripe for adjudication. Adjudication. I can never say that word. Defendants are actively planning a major new Superman motion picture and other derivative works for imminent worldwide release. It says Warner and Purley, as longtime legal team, have been in court rather often before this, most recently regarding termination rights under U.S. Copyright Act, but the automatic foreign copyright reversion issue in this case did not occur until years later. Mark Toberoff, attorney for estate, said it was never actually litigated. Now it will. Oh, so this is the first time they're actually going to go to court over it? This is just drama they don't need. You know what I mean?
it could be because I wonder if it's because the movie's actually called Superman.
Oh, instead of Superman Legacy,
or like Man of Steel.
Yeah.
It's actually
just change it back last minute.
Yeah. The Warner Brothers obviously disagrees with the merit of lawsuits, but look, so this is the reason why it's so bad for Warner Brothers here is they don't have a lot of money.
No.
They're very broke. So like just the fact that they have to even fight this is bad. And I can guarantee you it's going to be negative press for the movie leading up to the movie, which is similar to what happened with the Flash movie. All that negative press before the Flash movie came out. Could it delay the movie? No. What I think would happen is the movie would come out in all the places it can come out, and it would only delay the movie in those particular territories.
Which would be bad for them. Like, they need it out everywhere.
The UK, Australia, I'm not too sure about Canada, but UK and Australia, like what, top 5 territories?
Yeah, it was Canada, UK, Ireland, and Australia, and one other place.
Well, including.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you'd beat the entire Commonwealth, British legal tradition.
Oh,
I mean, New Zealand.
Yeah. That does make sense. Look, if people actually own the rights to something, they absolutely should get their money for it. But if this is just one of those things where they just want to try and make a buck off of something because of legal jargon, it's really bad because they're affecting the sales of the thing that they're trying to get money for.
I would assume they saw how popular that trailer got, like how much it did, and they were like, oh, people are interested in this. Okay, can we get something out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It does suck, but we'll keep an eye on this. I'll keep you guys updated on this when we get closer and closer to it. All right, let's see what everybody picked. We had our poll for getting the hitting the goal. So let's see what everybody picked here. Stopping the poll now. Wow, it was really close between MCU ranking stream and favorite TV show fails. So let me go in here. You know what? We're gonna do a two for one today. We're gonna go, since they were only a couple percentages apart, we're gonna add those in as topics together. So let's do this here. We've got, because you guys have been so cool today, you kept tipping beyond the tip goal. So we're gonna do MCU ranking stream, and we're gonna do the favorite TV show fails as a topic. So favorite TV show fails, for those that didn't know, because I don't know if I explained it to everybody, is a storyline that was taken from the comics or a cartoon and failed in the live action adaptation. That's what we're going to be talking about. So people can pick like 2 or 3 they want to talk about. So I've got those on the list now. Anyway, and we do have a 5-hour stream that I have to schedule out, which will probably be towards the end of the month because it's a short month. So we'll see where you go with that. Anyway, let's double check, see is there any other super chats or anything here. South Texas Shark with a member chat, 26 months. Do you live by anything interesting? So we can toss this out to everybody before we go here. Paigey, I don't know where you are now, but originally you lived pretty much in the heart of Sydney, right? Originally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but there's just that. I mean, there's things I've been to that are near me. Like I mentioned that I had to stay overnight in the forest or the national park where the guy stole all the serial killer.
Oh, of course. I knew it was going to go to something serial related. It always is with him. Always. Other than serial killers and really awful stories, Darren, is there any like major monuments near where you are that you think fondly of?
I mean, we live really close to the Christmas
Don't dox
story
yourself.
house.
Don't dox yourself.
No, I mean, I guess I kind of am, but that's okay. Right, we like near us. You can go visit the like Christmas Story house, like where
Right.
that movie was filmed. You can go in, you can get tours and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
yeah.
Well, Darren also like lives in Ohio, so he's got like the meme aspect.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if it's a flex, but
I mean, there's nothing like that. Like that's the whole thing. There's nothing to do here. There's nothing exciting here. So when something does happen here, like when Superman
It's a
filmed
big
in
deal.
Cleveland, like everyone's like, "Holy shit!" Like we got Superman here. This is crazy.
Omega and I live pretty close together, so there's
Yeah.
really like we share landmarks. I guess for us, what would you say? Would you think of as like the big thing? There's not a lot, honestly. I live in a resort
really.
town, so for me, it's basically just the oceanfront.
Do you really want to call it a resort town?
I mean, we're busy during the summer.
well, how many
mainly,
people
so-
I
go?
guess.
Do people literally go, kids? The big holidays here. We're going to West Virginia. Like, do people really?
Well, we don't live in West Virginia, so that doesn't
Well, do
matter.
people like who
We-
go? Is it like
well,
retirees and stuff like that?
No,
or-
like
Mostly.
we actually like our oceanfront is actually extremely busy during the summertime. Like it is.
Yeah.
Like I don't even like traveling to the oceanfront because it's
Me
just
either.
like bad.
It's
But-
a hassle.
Yeah. So it is big during like a resort area. But in terms of like landmarks, I guess Williamsburg is probably the biggest thing near us.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
a historic site.
Yeah, Colonial Williamsburg, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
Colonial
it.
Williamsburg. And then honestly, there's so much stuff in DC that maybe
how
that's
far? If
probably
you're
the
jumping in
biggest-
your car, how long's the drive to?
Oh, like
hours.
2 hours. It's really close. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean you're gonna hit traffic
Unless you're in
so it's-
England.
yeah,
Unless you're in Europe, then yeah, that's like, oh, I'm now driving 45 minutes to visit my
Yeah.
dad. It's like 40. That's a commute, bro.
Honestly, I'm surprised more people don't kind of live where we live because we're kind of close to a lot of stuff. Like if you want to go to Tennessee, it's only a few hours away at the most to go to Nashville.
There's a lot of
DC is
military
pretty
here, but it's
close.
also very, very boring.
It is. That's the reality of it. Like
So, do a
this
lot of people
area-
that work in? Do people that work in politics live where you live? Like,
No, not,
or is it
not
just
usually.
too far?
They're up in
You-
DC.
You're like Northern Virginia. Yeah, you're looking at
Yeah,
like the
probably Arlington.
Yeah.
Arlington,
Yeah, for
Manassas,
sure.
and
Well,
Annapolis.
we live in an area. Well, I live in an area, and Omega used to live here, called Sova, which is Southern VA,
Mhm.
and then there's Nova, which is Northern VA, and it's two very different ways of life. So if you go beyond where Omega is, which is in Richmond, you start to get into like the sort of like very rich, affluent type part of the state, and down where I am is the more laid back Southern vibe type part of the state. So it's really like two different types of lifestyles. And I would even say where I live in Virginia Beach is very different from all the other cities near where.
Yeah, it's
where
like if you're in the major cities like the the Hampton Roads area, DC metropolitan area, and Richmond. Outside of those places, it's very rural.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost country south. So that's
Yeah.
You either get country south or you get like kind of, I guess, sort of modern metropolitan areas. I guess.
Yeah.
I have another one too, if you guys
What's
want.
that? Yeah.
So Neil Armstrong was born in Ohio, and like right in our city, we have the like Neil Armstrong first flight location, and we have like a little piece of like the like I don't know what it's called, but like the ship piece that's like in center of like a field.
Oh.
You can go and like look at the piece,
That's
like where
kinda
they
cool.
launched and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. There's like Ohio has so many random things. It's really funny
Yeah.
to me. Like it's really funny. Cameron says, "Have I seen the Diddy documentary on Max?" No, I have not.
I did see there's a new OJ documentary though.
Oh my God, there's a new documentary every day. I feel like every day there's no lack of documentaries on random awful people. It seems like if you're a bad person, most likely you have a documentary about you. Anyway, by the way, I went back, and this last thing I'll talk about, then we'll wrap everything up. But I went back to Disney Plus to watch, and I don't know if anybody's seen this or not. You guys can tell me if it's worth the time, but I read that it was the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes series. It's like 2 seasons of it.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is it? Okay. All right.
Yeah, I heard, I heard it was all right.
Have you seen... I don't know if you're up to date, Eric, with the lingo, but you know people would say like "no homo" and stuff like that.
That's not new. That's old.
Well, no, but you know how people would say that. I'm saying it because the new term has come in, and I think it's like political correctness.
This is not real. This isn't real.
It's political correctness gone.
No, this is just you're making this up. But go ahead.
No. Apparently, people are now saying "no Diddy" for sus things. There's no Diddy, so no Diddy's taken over. I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, I have heard that, but. That's not even like no homo, no Diddy. Don't even mean the
same. I know there's no, but people the correlation isn't great, but people are swapping it out.
Right. Okay.
So it's sort of like it's sort of like I guess it's like getting a pizza and instead of getting the nice tomato base, they just put
like this one right here.
Well, yeah, but imagine they did that, but they put just like ketchup as the base.
Like, gross! Like you ruined it for me now. Like,
yeah. So, well, I'm not saying that pizza is Diddy, but like you know what I mean, like. Yeah, they're swapping it out. So
well, I hope it's not Diddy. I ate half of it. So,
if you ate half of it and it was Diddy, you would have been passed out and pantsless by now. So.
Oh yeah, there we go. Anyway, I think that's pretty much
everyone's
it.
backing up. Everyone's backing up the no Diddy. Pagey is
I didn't
right.
say no. I thought you were trying to do something that was a parallel to no homo, but no Diddy.
No. I'm just saying they're swapping it out. Yeah, as I said.
So I actually just want to mention this. So Multiverse is shutting down again. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, you know, with all the stuff around Marvel, the Rivals game or whatever, you would think the DC would get their shit together, but they just can't seem to get their shit together.
It's WB. So. It's totally WB. Well, actually, I was here from when it comes to multiverses, it wasn't 100% WB's fault. It also had to do a lot with the lead the game director. Apparently, apparently, dude was so hard to work with. Even Ed Boon and his kid did not want to work with this guy. That's why there's no other Mortal Kombat characters in that game because the dude.
They're rolling it into Fortnite. Is that what it is? They're rolling.
They're just you can just play it offline.
It says Temple says they're collabing with Fortnite. Apparently, I don't know if that's.
I wouldn't be surprised if they. Honestly, I don't think they are. Right, honestly, because that game is done. It's done.
Yeah,
they got like one more patch coming. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard because like the whole like Marvel Rivals thing, like that did so well because people were tired of the Overwatch, right? Like they were tired of it. It's hard to do another Super Smash Brothers when Super Smash Brothers is so perfect and so beloved. Like people still play that after all these years of it coming out. You can't really beat it at this point. People have tried, but it's really.
I also want to point out, Darren, to what you're saying is people were tired of Overwatch. They wanted a really fun Marvel game, and they just combined a fun Marvel IP with Overwatch, and bam, you have like a big hit. You know. So
what are we concerned, Eric, about South Texas Sharks' most recent comment in the chat?
What, you need to watch that movie?
That was in reference to Snowtown.
Oh, Jesus Christ. We're out of here. Everybody have a good night. Bye. Take care.